Now, imagine two guys work in the same college campus or your class or your school. Just imagine this scenario. Same age, same build, same looks, same situation, same place. Okay. Now, one of them gets remembered before he finishes his or her sentence. The other is forgotten the moment the class finishes and he steps out. This isn't luck. This isn't looks. This isn't aura. It's something most men in their early 20s to mid 20s to early 30s still have never been taught. And most won't figure it out until it's too late. It's power, it's presence. And in 2026, most of you don't have it. Some of you crave it, some of you want it, some of you keep dreaming for it, but never start taking actions towards it, never execute a plan of action to have power on your side, to have leverage on your side. Today, we're talking about power, what it actually is. How does it benefit you? How does it put you in a situation of leverage, having leverage? In today's date, as a young man in his early teens to mid 20s to early 30s, how the world quietly figures out who has it, that means power, and who doesn't, and the exact steps that you can start today to build it. Not control over other people, the real kind of power, the real essence of power, the kind that holds up under pressure, being someone other than people looking up to that individual. By the end of this video, you'll have a ladder to climb, you'll have steps, something that you can start doing before you even close this video, also. This is the composed meal. Let's get into it. First of all, now in 2026, how power actually works. For the majority of human history, power was inherited, it was passed down. You received it, you just had to exist. For example, having a title, a family name, a position handed down whether you had earned it or not. But this is not how the modern world works nowadays. This world, what I explained to you just a couple of seconds back, the human history, is extinct now. It no more is there. The best news is now in 2026, power isn't given to you, it's built. And that's the best and the worst news you'll hear all day. The best news is because it means that the ladder is open to climb up. Nobody is blocking you because of your last name or how you look or how you sound or how you are perceived. It largely won't depend on that. The worst news because it means nobody is coming to hand it to you either. If you don't build it, you simply won't have it. It's as simple as that. Now, what is power actually? Stripping away the fancy jargons, the terms, the bookish definitions, simply put, power is having leverage on your side. That means having some sort of a upper hand or some sort of an upper advantage which puts you in a better position than the rest of the population, than the rest of the people around you. That is called as leverage. Now, furthermore, leverage consists of five things further. Number one, skill. Number two, money. Number three, reputation. Number four, network. And the most important, optionality for yourself. That means having multiple options. Now, most men have none of these, even till their early 30s and their mid 20s also. Some develop one by their own understanding, maybe they learn it from somewhere, depends. The men the world treats as powerful, or the men who get respect, or the men who are perceived as being in a position of power, usually have at least three of these. The three of these from the skill, money, reputation, network, and having options. Here's the part nobody says out loud. Visibility and recognition is power now. In 2026, the currency of power, that means if you want to measure how powerful you are and how much power you have, you can measure it using visibility and recognition. Visibility and recognition where? Visibility and recognition can also mean on social media. maybe on YouTube, on Snapchat, on Facebook, on Instagram. Visibility, maybe many people in real life know you. Now, it cannot be anybody who knows you. No. Those people also should be of high value, meaning your network, the people you know, the people who know you, should be of at least the same caliber as you, or much more preferable situation is that they are much more high caliber than you in comparison, right? So this is what this means. Now, the algorithm decides who gets heard before any boardroom does. Boardroom here means if you're working in a job, or if you feel that the corporate is your solution for things. Mhm. Rest assured, I'll tell you why it doesn't work that way. A 20-year-old with one in demand, high value, high net worth skill can outrank a man twice his age with neither, or even some elements working in his favor. Now, another thing to keep in mind is power compounds. A small edge at 20 becomes a generational gap at 30, and it becomes a life changing opportunity by 40. If you reinforce it daily, of course. The men who look like they made it overnight never do. Nobody is posting their losses, their L's, their failures, their blood, their sweat, their pain online. Most of the people, they don't post it. Some of them have now started to post because it is becoming a trend again. But till today, till 2026 started, I could not see anybody very vulnerably and openly posting their L's, their failures, their losses, their how many attempts it took for them to be successful. Nobody was putting that. Another truth, this one matter, this one thing matters more than the rest of the things. Power without composure, power without mental clarity collapses. What do I mean by that? Let's begin. You've watched it happen many a times. A man builds something, he gets a little power, he gets a little prestige, he gets a little respect. And one moment of losing control, one moment of losing his cool, one moment of an emotional outburst wipes it all out. Immediately. Immediately. The guy who keeps, the man who keeps what they build are the ones who stay calm, cool, and composed, even if it becomes hard, even if when they are tested, even when it is not easy to plow through, to work through that. This is not a coincidence. This is the actual working mechanism of how you build power as well as you keep power with you. Now, how the world sees you. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. The world has already sorted you into one of two categories. Whether you know it or not, whether you have acknowledged it or not, whether you accept it or not, the main two categories are an NPC or a powerful man. Also, I'll refer to it as a leveraged man. Now, there's the NPC and there's the powerful man. You already know which rooms put you in which categories. You just haven't said it out loud to yourself. You have to accept it. Now, the NPC reacts to the stimuli around him, reacts to the things around him. The powerful man already has options lined up for him. The NPC waits for permission. Maybe permission from his elders, maybe permission from his society, maybe permission from his friends. It can be anybody, right? He seeks permission, he seeks approval. The powerful man just makes a move. He just does it. He just performs. He just completes the task or the job or the duty without explaining himself to anybody. The NPC purchases and buys status symbols, that expensive watch, that luxury car, that branded cloth, that jacket, that branded shoes, those sneakers, hoping people read his belongings as proof of status, power, and prestige. But in 2026, sadly, this just doesn't how it works now. Now, how does it work? A powerful man buys leverage. skills, time, assets that produce more of themselves over time, assets that multiply themselves over time. The NPC apologizes for taking up space. The powerful man occupies space without feeling guilty about it. The NPC is a slave boy. Now, a couple of minutes back, I was referring to how, I was taking an example of a corporate company. Now, I'll tell you in short, in crisp, why? Because otherwise, the video will become very, very long. It will become very lengthy, which, I can cover this topic in another video also about corporates. Okay, where was I? Yeah. The NPC is a slave boy to his corporate company's wishes and whims. A slave is an individual without a voice or an opinion of his own. Now, what is modern day slavery? Slavery, in its generic term, meant, slaving away your time and your life for somebody. In the modern world, it translates to slaving off in a corporate company or a private company or a private job. All right. This is the modern day slavery where you do slavery, but sitting in an AC office, sitting in a nice glass office. Maybe a dedicated workspace is given to you, maybe an office is given to you. Maybe you have a sharing space, a co working space. Doesn't make a difference, right? Now, if you want me to make a detailed, in depth video on the topic of how not to be an NPC for the rest of your life, comment NPC in the comments below so that I can give you the step by step breakdown of what being an NPC means in the real world. How you can avoid becoming one and unlearn whatever doesn't serve you. Let me know in the comments below. A person will keep on exchanging their time for money and never achieve true financial freedom or authoritative freedom for that matter. Now, what do I mean by authoritative freedom? Authoritative freedom means the freedom, the type of freedom where you are not answering to anybody. Even the president of USA is not free. Now, you might comment or you might ask me that he is the most respected authority, he's the most influential. He just says one word and the market starts to crash or the market starts to rise. I will disagree with you. Why? The president of USA still has to answer to someone. Now, that can be a impeachment, that can be anybody else, right? Let's not get into hierarchy now. But even the president of USA, the most influential authority in today's world, still is not authoritatively free. He can't say that he has authoritative freedom because his actions will still have consequences. His words will still have consequences. Maybe not immediately, but it will have consequences on him, on his job role, on his work profile, on what he has been given as a duty and as a responsibility. So, true authoritative freedom or true freedom comes when you can say anything to anybody, whatever you want to do, you can do that without thinking about any repercussions whatsoever. That is true authoritative freedom. Now, a powerful man has optionality. He has options. What does this mean? This means that he can walk away, never look back as and how and when he wishes and pleases to. And this fact alone changes how he is treated in whatever room he walks into. The NPC, on the other hand, seeks approval for everyone else around him. The powerful man garners respect through his actions, not words. This is not the same currency. The NPC is chasing the wrong one. That is why many, many men today feel invisible despite trying so hard to be liked. Now, the harshest one, the NPC is still replaceable by design, meaning the NPC has not built a unique value proposition for himself or herself, right? The NPC is gender neutral. The NPC is gender neutral, meaning that individual can be replaced anytime. The perfect example of this is an employee working in a private company or any company for that matter working a job. Now, whatever tasks which are given to you in a job for you to do, for example, suppose somebody is hired for the position of executive. Let's take an example of sales experience executive. Okay, I'm just making a hypothetical position to explain my point, right? Now, that point is that if a person is hired for that job role of business development executive or any executive, now this is not something which another person can't do. For example, person A is hired to do that job. Suppose the company doesn't like him or they don't like what he is being able to, how he is able to perform, what he is able to give to the company. Any individual at any point of time, let's name that individual B, they can just tell him to, you know, they can remove A, then they can tell B to replace him and start doing that job role from day one itself. 99% of job profiles and job roles in today's state fit this description, meaning anybody and everybody who is an NPC is replaceable in any situation they are put into. This is just an example of one situation which I took, which was a corporate workplace setting. You can apply that anywhere, whether it is college, school, job, your house, your friend circles, each and everywhere this principle is applicable that an NPC is replaceable. Now, if you want me to make separate videos of different situations where an NPC can be replaced, do let me know in the comments. I'll make another video for that as well. Now, coming to the point, the powerful man is irreplaceable by proof of work. The type of work, the quality of work which a powerful man does is irreplaceable by design, by what he is able to provide. Sit with that for a second. Let me know, which column have you been living in? The NPC column or the powerful man column? Let me know. Now, here's the part nobody wants to admit that power is that most men don't lack power because they lack ability. They lack power because somewhere along the way they were taught that wanting it was narcissistic, it was selfish, it was arrogant, it was toxic. Now, many individuals are told that this is not something who they should strive to be powerful. That means this isn't nice. You're not being a nice guy by being powerful. You're not being a nice person by being powerful. Many of us hear this. Even I myself, if I take myself for an example, I also did hear this, right? I was called many things in my life. I was called toxic. I was called selfish. I was called narcissistic. I was called uncooperative, whatever that means. Now, the belief is a single, these beliefs basically, sorry, these beliefs are the single biggest thing standing between you and the next 10 years of your life. Power isn't arrogance. Powerlessness dressed up as humility is the poison. It is the slow poison which kills you, kills your individuality, kills your dreams, kills your wishes, kills what you wanted to do in your life, eventually, slowly, gradually, over a period of time. Right? So, this is how power works. Now, here's the ladder. Here are the steps which you can follow to basically fix this problem. Step one, master your nervous system first. This is the foundation upon which everything else stands on. An uncomposed, emotional, reactive man with money, with looks, with visible muscles or followers still is not powerful. Before you build anything external, build the ability to stay level headed when things go wrong or things don't go in your favor. Practically, this means daily stress exposure. Now, what do I mean by stress exposure? Stress exposure basically means cold exposure, hard training, difficult conversations you avoid. You're training the one muscle every step depends on, which is your mind, which is your mentality, which is your head. Step 2, build one unshakable skill before chasing 10 mediocre skills. Specialization is what will get you noticed. Breadth comes later. After you've already proven that you can go deep in one particular skill or one particular niche, pick that's one skill which the market always pays for and is in need of very direly and very severely. Give it 24 months of focused, single headed, unglamorous repetition before you let yourself get distracted by the next shiny thing. This is very, very important, gents. The skill which you work on and the skill which you build will ultimately decide what kind of life you'll have in the long run, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 2 years as well. Step number three, build financial sovereignty. What do I mean by that? Not wealth, not independent, not independence. The goal isn't a particular number like 1 million or 10 million or 100 million. No, it is removing your dependency on a single source of money, on a single source of income, on a single employer or a company or an individual or a person. This is the goal, to remove the dependency and to introduce options. Start with one income stream outside of your main job or your main work, even a small one. The amount doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't. What matters is that you make a second door for yourself. You step out of the one door in which you're stuck in for the majority of your time. Okay. Now, step four, build your body as the base. This isn't a waste of time. This isn't a vanity. It's infrastructure. Physical capability is the floor of your confidence. It is the floor of your discipline. It is the floor where all your composure stands on. It rests on. You cannot think your way into self respect while neglecting the body that carries you through every life decision which you make. It doesn't work like that. Step 5, build a visible reputation. Now, in 2026, if there is no proof of your skill, no proof of your work, no proof of what you know, no proof of your capability online anywhere, your functionality doesn't exist. In most of the rooms, you will not be able to enter eventually. This doesn't mean that you start chasing clout. This means that you document the skill from step 1. Let evidence of your competence exist somewhere so that other people can find it, right? Step 6, build a small circle of high trust relationships. Power is rarely built solo. Look at any man. I can give numerous examples here. Look at Andrew Tate, look at anybody, anyone. Now, what you'll find is any man who's truly powerful, who's truly successful, quietly has 5 to 6 people behind him. People who tell him the truth, not only what he wants to hear. Spend less times in rooms of 50, 100, 200 acquaintances and more time building 5 real allies, 5 real brothers, 5 individuals who will stand by you through thick and thin. Build the willingness to be disliked. Step 7. This is the final test. The willingness and the likeness to be disliked, wanting to be disliked by others. What do I mean by that? Most men never build the caliber, never build the mental strength to face resistance, to face negativity, to face bad mouthing, to face ridicule upon themselves, to be ridiculed for what they are trying to do, for what they are wanting to become. Most people fail at this. Ask yourself, can you hold a boundary and lose something? What do I mean by something? A friendship, an opportunity, someone's approval, without losing yourself? Yes or no? The NPC can't. He simply folds. A powerful man holds the line even if it costs him because he knows he will build more of it, whatever he has lost, in no time. Be that man, and the world will bow to you and your wishes and your wins. Now, again, going back to the two men from the start of this video, same room, same opportunity, same setup. The only difference between them was which of these seven things they've already built before they walked into that scenario. You don't need all seven today. You need to start with one and gradually, slowly pick up. Pick the step which on which you're the weakest on. Start there this week. Start there today. The world isn't going to hand you power in 2026 just for existing. It doesn't work like that. It never does. But the good thing is that you do have the option to build it quietly, daily, without permission from anyone. This is what composed power actually looks like. If this is the kind of man you're building towards, this channel exists exactly for that reason itself. Discipline, clarity, structure, daily growth. Subscribe if you want to keep climbing. This is the composed meal. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.